2 summers ago, Zena's college friends organized a weekend trip to the Hamptons. Everybody jumped on board without any question of what it would cost, she says. It was all being planned in a group text. She felt terrible, especially since pulling out of the plan would increase shared expenses for everyone else. But then her friends made her feel even worse. The response was, "Well, you knew in advance that we were going to do this trip. Our different circumstances have created this wedge that infiltrates our ability to relate to each other."
Scientists from Aalto University in Finland and the University of Oxford in England. Social promiscuity, regularly connecting with a large number of friends, tends to peak at age 25, after which it declines rapidly, especially for women. The study's co-authors attributed this shift to the tendency to cultivate a smaller, more closely knit network, which often includes a romantic partner, during this life stage. But another reason could be that financial responsibilities and differences begin to weigh more heavily on relationships at this point, too.
Previous generations to hit socioeconomic milestones like a full-time job or financial independence, according to a recent analysis by the Pew Research Center. But that typically starts to change after age 25, the data shows, and can sow divisions in friendships that were less affected by money in earlier years. What's more, economic disparities that were always there, but easier to ignore, become increasingly pronounced in your late 20s and early 30s, says Satya Doyle-Bayok, a psychotherapist and author of Quarter Life.
In ordinary circumstances, expressing preferences for your ideal housemate is fair enough, but in the current climate, preferences have become requirements, leading to frustration and stress for renters searching for a room, especially when these requirements are ludicrously specific. The reason behind this can be largely ascribed to the fact demand for rented accommodation is far outstripping supply. Latest figures from Rightmove show that the average number of renters requesting to view one property has skyrocketed.
UK household debt is already worse than at any time in modern history. The Step Change Debt Charity estimates 9 million people. At that kind of tipping point, even the smallest increase in the cost of debt and mortgages could see millions of households tipping over the edge. Some workplaces offer a budget planner, and if available, using tools and modelers like this are really helpful. Then look at average spending on essential items that are a bit more fluid in terms of totals, such as commuting costs, food, and clothing.
The assumption is that banks and other financial institutions will pass on any rise in interest rates to clients who have savings in cash. This could be a standard savings account. The reality is usually very different. Any increases that are passed on for people with cash savings generally range from negligible to zero. New normal will undoubtedly cause a spike in some outgoings that in fact, 90% of mortgages taken out in the first quarter of the year were for this kind of deal that guarantees a certain interest rate for a period of time.
There are generally 4 ways to get health insurance in the U.S. employer-sponsored health insurance, individual or private plans purchased through the healthcare marketplace formed by the Affordable Care Act, Medicare, and Medicaid. You may qualify for free or reduced-cost health insurance through Medicaid. Each state has its own eligibility requirements. You'll need to get on your employer's plan or find coverage through the healthcare marketplace. The language associated with health insurance can be confusing. When selecting a plan from the marketplace, you'll have 4 price options to choose from: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Bronze has lowest monthly premium but highest copays and deductibles. If they are eligible for that extra assistance, what can you realistically spend on a premium each month? You'll need to evaluate what your medical needs are and whether your doctors are in-network. You receive from in-network providers, with exceptions for emergencies. You'll need a referral to see a specialist. Generally have lower premiums and out-of-pocket and prescription costs.
There is growing public concern about the insects, with hotels, transport companies, and local governments all facing inquiries about the issue. This was after he invested in a new kind of monitoring technology developed by a UK startup called Spota. It enabled him to detect his case of bedbugs early. You can go from 2 bedbugs to thousands in the space of months. An adult female can lay around 400 eggs in her short lifespan, a matter of months, depending on the temperature. The eggs take about 2 weeks to incubate, and a combination of artificial intelligence software.
It isn't in your head. Selecting a health insurance plan in the US is notoriously difficult, regardless of whether you're choosing a plan through your employer or you're shopping on the health insurance marketplace. From needing to learn a variety of terms: HMO, PPO, deductible, premium, co-insurance, to familiarizing yourself with a wide range of insurance companies and plans available, shopping for health insurance could be the most complicated thing you do all year. Things change year to year, so even if you think that you've got it figured out,